In the future, climate change leads to environmental collapse, causing resource scarcity. The wealthy live in a comfortable area called the New World, while the lower classes are relegated to the devastated Old World. Despite their wealth, the elite face harsh regulations due to the lack of resources. Childbirth is tightly controlled, with couples needing to pass a 7-day assessment to prove they're fit to raise children. One day, while swimming, young Mia sees her mother calling her from the shore. But with a blink, her mother vanishes. Panicking, Mia swims desperately, and when she resurfaces, she's older, realizing it was just a memory. She returns to her smart home, which tracks weather changes, her health, and exercise. Mia enters a glowing room where she can visit a virtual reality created by her husband, Arian, designed for pet creation. After discussing their day, Mia works in her greenhouse, maintaining the machines and gathering ingredients for dinner. Later that night, they talk about their nervousness regarding the upcoming assessment. Their conversation turns intimate, but Mia is distracted by her memory of the sea. Once Arian falls asleep, Mia heads back to check on her plants for comfort. The next day, Virginia, the assessor, arrives at their home. She'll stay for a week to determine if they're fit to become parents. Mia asks about the assessment criteria, but Virginia only says that the less they know, the better, as she wants to see the real them. Virginia interviews Mia and Arian separately, asking about their relationship, their intimate moments, and their childhoods. Mia reveals that her mother and sister were sent to the Old World when she was young, so she doesn't remember them well. Virginia suspects Mia's mother was a dissident and wonders if Mia shares similar anti-state views, but Mia assures her she does not. When asked why they want a child, they explain it's about contributing to society's future, feeling fulfilled, and giving a child a sense of belonging. Mia shares that she feels that sense now, but didn't as a child. Afterward, they give Virginia a tour of their home. She tests the child's bed, complaining about loose springs, despite the couple's explanation that it has no springs. She approves of their bedroom but seems unimpressed by Arian's virtual space. Virginia then visits the greenhouse and notices that the only item Mia has of her mother's is a single flower. She requests full access to all areas of the house, which the couple has already granted through the AI. She also asks for samples of urine, saliva, blood, hair, and private fluids. Though the couple had already submitted these, she needs to double-check to ensure there's no cheating. During dinner, Virginia shows little interest in Mia's rustic meal made from greenhouse ingredients. She asks Arian about the scar on his body, and he explains that animal activists attacked him because of his virtual pet invention, which exists to protect the few remaining real animals. These activists had bombed the research lab, and Arian had to jump out of a window to escape. The activists were sent to the Old World as punishment, which Mia believes is deserved. Virginia, however, wonders if that's also what happened to Mia's mother. That night, as the couple heads to bed, Arian tells Mia that Virginia is deliberately using the topic of her mother to provoke her, advising her to stay calm. They then begin to get intimate, only to stop when they realize Virginia is watching them. She explains that she needs to assess every aspect of their relationship, including this. The couple feels uncomfortable but continues, knowing how important the assessment is for their chance to have a child. The next morning, the couple asks Virginia about mysterious bags of baby food that arrived, but she ignores their questions and instead plays with a spoon. At breakfast, Virginia starts behaving childishly, pushing her bowl around or pounding it on the table. When Mia gets nervous, Virginia accuses her of raising her voice. Tension rises, and things get even more awkward when Mia pounds her fist on the table. To defuse the situation, Arian uses some games to feed Virginia, which works. She begins eating on her own but also starts throwing food at them. As Arian curses after some food gets in his eye, Virginia starts repeating the curse words while he rushes to the bathroom to wash up. Mia helps him with eye drops, and they agree they need to set some boundaries with Virginia. When they return to the kitchen, the food is splattered all over the walls and furniture, but Virginia is gone. They begin searching the house and discover chaos in every room. Arian's virtual office is blaring with a horrible noise while Virginia dances around. They try talking to her, but the noise is so loud it drowns out their voices. Finally, Arian yells, "Stop," loud enough to interrupt the music. He tells Virginia that this isn't a game, but she merely replies that the test is over. Later that evening, another mysterious package arrives. Inside, they find a toy house for their future child. Virginia informs them they have until morning to assemble it. The pieces have odd shapes, and the instructions are unclear, so the couple struggles to put it together. After making some progress on the toy house, it suddenly collapses. The couple works through the night, determined to finish it. They finally complete it, but there's one piece left. The instructions state that for safety, all pieces must be used, so Mia rushes to the beach and throws the remaining piece into the sea. When Virginia wakes up, she inspects the toy and tells them they've done well. She then declares that this will be her room and asks the couple to bring her things. Later, Virginia watches Arian work and shares a personal story about her dog. When the government made a call about euthanizing pets, she couldn't bear the thought of her beloved dog dying with a stranger, so she killed him herself, leaving her in tears for days. Arian invites her to touch a monkey he designed, and she's impressed by how realistic the fur feels. But suddenly, she declares she's bored and wants to play a game. By the time Mia checks on them, Virginia and Arian are pretending to be wild animals, jumping on each other in the jungle. Mia finds it odd because Arian has always said his back never fully recovered from the window jump. The next day, they head to the beach, where the couple has to make sure Virginia doesn't wander off to dangerous areas. They play hide and seek, and Mia becomes upset because Arian and Virginia keep finding each other but never her. She also notices that Virginia is calling Arian Daddy. When they start working on a sandcastle, Mia tries to join in, but Virginia walks away to build another castle on her own. Mia begins to question if she can handle this, and Arian reminds her she's not her mother. Just then, they notice Virginia is gone, and her shoes are left near the water. A wave soon washes Virginia back onto the sand, and Mia rushes to her side to help. However, Virginia, cold and distant, walks away from her. Mia snaps, wondering if she should have just let Virginia drown. Virginia immediately leaves, and Arian scolds Mia for her reaction. On their way home, Virginia asks Arian to carry her, but soon it starts raining, and Arian's back hurts, so he has to put her down. Mia offers to carry her, but Virginia insists she only wants Daddy to do it. When they reach the house, Virginia refuses to go in, so Mia tells her she can still hate her inside where it's warm, which convinces Virginia to follow her. Later, Mia gives Virginia a bath, and they play with the bubbles. While brushing Virginia's hair, Mia shares that her mother used to do this for her, and she even kisses Virginia on the top of her head, feeling a moment of connection. A letter then arrives, announcing that the couple will host a dinner party that night, which Virginia confirms is another test. The couple rushes to prepare a lovely meal and dress in their nicest clothes. Soon, the guests arrive, and Virginia bursts out of the toy house, pretending to be a child. During dinner, Walter talks about how Mia used to be a brilliant student of his, causing his wife, Evie, to look visibly annoyed. Mia pulls Arian aside to explain that before they met, she had an affair with Walter. At the time, she was so young that she didn't fully understand how Walter had taken advantage of her. It's clear that Evie knows about this and despises Mia for it. Seeing Mia visibly shaken, Arian comforts her and reminds her that these people were intentionally sent to provoke them, and they shouldn't let them win. When they return to the table, Mia has to help Virginia eat and prevent her from choking. Soon, another guest arrives, and Arian is surprised to see his mother, who isn't pleased to be there. Virginia continues to misbehave, and Mia does her best to keep her under control while the adults at the table argue about whether it's wise to have children in a world lacking resources. Apparently, rumors from across the border say that people are healing and reproducing, suggesting that rebuilding the old world might not be impossible after all. As the conversation shifts to population control, Virginia starts running around, prompting Mia to chase after her until Virginia sits next to the guests. Mia tries to move her, but Virginia hits her in response. Taking a deep breath, Mia calmly assures Virginia that she isn't angry, which helps Virginia finally obey. The group tries to have a pleasant toast, but Arian's mother ruins it by revealing that Arian tried to have a child with his previous partner, but they were denied. Mia, shocked and upset, rushes to the kitchen to take a break. Arian follows her and explains that he didn't tell her because he didn't want to hurt her feelings, asking her to discuss it later. When they return to the table, Evie begins to speak badly about Mia's mother and the people in the old world. She also mentions that she's 153 years old and remembers what the world was like before the collapse. Virginia, sitting on Evie's lap, asks for more details, and Evie shares how difficult it was to survive when the apocalypse first happened. Evie argues that dividing society into two worlds was necessary to save humanity, and that young people will ruin it by having more children. Suddenly, she gets furious and pushes Virginia off her lap when she realizes Virginia has peed on her. Mia is devastated to see Virginia hurt on the ground, and when Evie mocks her, saying that being a bad mother runs in Mia's family, Mia slaps her. After all the guests leave, Mia puts Virginia to bed and smiles when Virginia thanks her for defending her. To Mia's shock, Virginia kisses her on the lips, and Mia immediately pulls away. Later, Mia goes to her bedroom and argues with Arian for not telling her about his attempt to have a child with his previous partner. Unaware that Virginia can hear them, Arian explains that he kept it a secret because he didn't want Mia to feel like he wasn't good enough. The couple apologizes to each other, acknowledging that this whole situation is incredibly hard, but at least the assessor will be gone in 2 days.
Virginia overhears this conversation.
In the middle of the night, Virginia comes to their bedroom, saying she had a bad dream. Arian tells Virginia to go back to her bed, but Mia allows her to sleep with them. The next day, Mia receives a call from the hospital informing her that her sister has had an embolism and is in intensive care. Mia starts getting ready to travel, but Arian thinks it's a bad idea for her to leave while the assessment is still ongoing. When they inform Virginia, she tells Mia she can go, but it will terminate the assessment process. An argument follows, with Mia arguing that there should be exceptions for emergencies. She also points out that going to care for her sister is a good example to set for a child. Virginia finally agrees to give her an exception, but Mia must return before 6 a.m. That night, Arian tries to sleep alone, but Virginia climbs on top of him, claiming she had a bad dream. Then, she begins to get intimate with him, saying it's part of the assessment and will remain between them. Arian tries to refuse, but Virginia slaps him and continues until they both finish. When Mia returns from her trip, she finds Arian and Virginia on the bed, and manages to get in the middle of them. The next morning, Mia explains that it wasn't her sister at the hospital. It was a mix-up with someone who had the same name. Arian grows suspicious of Virginia, especially when she calls Mia "mommy" to make her smile. Later, Mia asks Arian to keep an eye on Virginia while she goes for a swim. However, Virginia bothers him while he's working, so Arian tells her they can play later. When Virginia goes outside, she tries calling for Mia, but Mia doesn't hear her. In retaliation, Virginia heads to the greenhouse and starts destroying everything, including the gas installation and electric cables. The damage causes a fire, and Virginia panics as she calls for her parents. The smoke quickly makes her weak, and she struggles to move. The falling debris blocks the door, trapping her inside. Meanwhile, Mia is slowly making her way back, but upon spotting the smoke in the distance, she starts running toward the greenhouse. As Arian works, the house AI alerts him about an emergency in the greenhouse. He approaches the building, but memories of the bombing incident make him terrified of the fire. Meanwhile, Mia is kicking the door, but the debris blocking it prevents her from getting through. She throws a rock, managing to create a hole big enough to squeeze inside. Inside, Virginia is non-responsive, so Mia drags her body to the hole and pushes her out. Once they're far enough from the fire, Mia watches helplessly as her beloved project, the greenhouse, burns down. That night, Virginia refuses to eat and storms out of the dinner table. Mia follows her to the beach and confronts her about destroying the greenhouse. But Virginia simply walks away again, ignoring Mia's anger. The next day, Virginia informs the couple that their application has been denied, meaning they won't be getting a child. Arian freaks out, realizing that everything he did was for nothing. Mia, in shock, starts laughing, unable to process the situation. Virginia ignores all of Arian's yelling and simply walks away. The couple then has lunch in complete silence. The rest of the day, Mia cleans the clubhouse and finds the extra toy piece that Virginia had used to destroy everything. Furious, Mia rushes back to the house and destroys the toy with a shovel, having a breakdown in the process. Arian hugs her tightly until she calms down and then announces he has something to show her. He takes her to the virtual room and surprises her with a digital baby girl. Mia holds the virtual child with a bright smile for a while, but suddenly drops her, explaining that the baby smells like nothing, which breaks the immersion. Desperate, Arian tries to convince Mia that they can go back to normal and be happy together. But Mia says she can't do this anymore and walks away. Sometime later, Mia finds Virginia living in a shabby apartment. Virginia threatens to call the police, but Mia refuses to leave until she understands why she and Arian were rejected. After a long argument, Virginia finally reveals the truth. Nobody has passed the assessment in 6 years due to government orders. The assessments continue solely to keep up morale, and assessors are promised a child of their own if they work hard enough. However, most assessors can't handle the pressure and quit after a week. Virginia then opens up, revealing that she has a dead daughter and breaks down, explaining the humiliation she's endured to keep doing this job. Mia offers her sympathies and asks if it's true that life is returning to the old world. Later, Virginia visits another couple for an assessment, but she can't take it anymore. In a moment of despair, she uses the balcony to end her life. Back home, Arian seeks comfort in a virtual reality simulation that includes a fake version of Mia and a grown daughter. Mia, determined to find answers, travels to the border and receives a hazmat suit. Despite the terrible weather, she removes her mask, ready to reconnect with the old world and the natural way of living.